I want you to be completely honest, Joshi, when I ask you this question. According to Francesco Suarez, does negation of something constitute real difference? Yes or no? Does negation alone constitute real things? According to Francesco Suarez in his Disputation 2, yes or no? I'm waiting for the answer to be no. According to Suarez, no. Thank you. Yep, I was waiting for you to say no. Thank you. So my point is proven. Exactly. Exactly. I know that's how we identify real distinction. Therefore, negation alone can't suffice for real distinction. GG. You're just proving my point for me. Yes, I know. I know that's what he was talking about. Yes, my friend. Yes. Yes, I know that's what he's talking about. So wait. The formal concept of father isn't negated from the formal concept of son. Is the formal concept of father negated from the formal concept of son? Yes or no? Yeah, father is. Yeah, so again, my friend Josh is just being dishonest. Formal negation just happens when one concept explicitly denies the very form or nature of another, which is what father and son are. The formal concept of son, the son is like a formal sign of the father, which means that his definition or his formal ratio to be other or in from the father. So when there's two contraries or contradictories by the formal ratio, that's where you have negation. Like, for example, rational, irrational, moral, immoral, father, son. Those cannot coexist in the same subject formally because one affirms and the other denies. It's not a repugnance, it's negation. Please show me where Aquinas says that's repugnance. That literally is a negation. Bro is lying. Bro is lying. He says they are contraries, they are relatives. Yes, I know they are contraries and they are relatives. They are formally negating relatives, yes. And also, we're forgetting that these are analogical predicates. So there is no formal repugnance of analogical predicates. That's hilarious. There's no formal repugnance of analogical predicates, dude. Now you're equivocating again. Yeah, you don't have to waste your time. There's no such thing, by the way, just for everyone to know, there's no such thing as formal repugnance of analogical predicates. Joshy made that crap up. He actually made that crap up. There's no such thing as formal repugnance of analogical predicates. An analogy, like I said before, there has to be some intrinsic element of dissimilitude. So whether that's of attribution or proportionality or proportional similitude, the predicates are not univocal. So that means the formal content is partly the same, partly different, partly similar, partly dissimilar. There is no per se contradiction. There's no per se contradiction between analogical predicates. Now you're equivocating, which is Scotus critique on Thomism, because you're trying to say that there's a such thing as formal repugnance of analogical predicates that doesn't exist. Good try though. That's a really good try. It does not exist in the literature. Please show me where formal repugnance as such exists for analogical predicates. Go ahead. Just from what I know, analogical predicates only is talking about material opposition. It has to be a negation by a reductio because formal repugnance of analogical predicates is false. You can have you only can have formal repugnance when the predicates are taken in the same form of ratio. That's the only way that that can exist. And since analogical predicates are not taken in the same form of ratio, their opposition is material. Period. Please show me that in the literature. Not you. I was talking about Joshi. That's what, by the way, that's why Joshi ran. He can't show me that in the literature. He's just going to run. He knows his saying is good. That's why he doesn't come up here. I'm not just like yapping. You said what? Let's see. He said, what is formal repugnance? Yeah, so formal repugnance is like a broader notion describing when formal aspects, like ratio, of two concepts cannot be united in the same subject without contradiction. So it's the incompatibility at the level of formal definition, not just some accidental opposition. So created, uncreated, those things are formally repugnant. Infinite, finite, those things are formally repugnant. Formal negation is like rational, irrational, mortal, immortal, because those things are applied to the same subject in the same respect. These can't coexist in the same subject formally because one affirms and the other denies. That's, yeah, he's trying to say father and son are formal repugnance. Those analogical predicates import some formal repugnance. No, they import formal negation. Especially if you're trying to say, well, the son is the formal concept of son is exhausted by being other than and not the father, other than the father and of the father. What? I used to be a Thomist. That's what it says. That's why Joshi didn't come up. There's no way around this. There's no way around this. That's why exactly why it didn't come up. I have Gregory Laurent on standby, Francisco Suarez on standby, Edith Stein on standby, Aquinas himself on standby. No, he can't actually defend his view, so he's just gonna say, not gonna waste my time. No, you don't. You can't actually defend him, which is okay. You can't actually defend him, which is okay. So, yeah. Can't believe he said father and son are formal repugnance. It's not formal repugnance. Again, like I said, the analogical predicates are only formally repugnant only if one formally denies the other and affirms the other in the same sense or respective mode or predication. In the Trinity, father and son are relative. They're not absolute terms. And if he's saying they're absolute terms, that's doing what Aquinas said don't do. He says there's opposition only to that which is relative, not according to that which is absolute. Father and son are relative properties, not absolute properties. So again, that's why I said he just makes them equivocal and then either either he's equivocating these terms and then he's just like saying there's three gods, or they're analogical and there's one God and one just modes of this one God. But he can't actually defend Aquinas metaphysically, so he just says, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about, Moses. Oh, that's formal repugnance." That's not formal repugnance, dude. It's not what formal repugnance is. I would have loved for him to come up. But again, he'll never come up here because he doesn't actually want to defend his saint. He knows his saint is a modalist. I saw you guys sharing the live. I'm not afraid of Joshi. He knows what's up. He knows his saint is a modalist. That's why he doesn't want to come up here. He knows Aquinas is a modalist. He knows what's up. Again, Father is defined as one who generates another of the same nature. Son is defined as one who generated by another of the same nature, which means Father is not the Son, Son is not the Father. Those formal concepts negate each other. That's formal negation that occurs from the personal relations, not formal freaking repugnance. He just lied. He literally lied on his saint, dude. He said the analogical predicates import some formal repugnance. He lied. That's nowhere in the literature. That's nowhere in the literature. He lied. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He actually lied. Oh man, that was funny. Oh man, that was pretty funny. Dude lied on his own saint. He says, "Are you claiming Aquinas would agree with me?" No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying what's entailed by his theology is that he's oneness. I'm sorry, modalist. Does he make claims that are Trinitarian claims? Absolutely. But ultimately, his theology collapses into one person. And I'm not just saying, well, divine simplicity, therefore oneness. No, I actually have an argument for that. And I gave an argument for that. One of, I guess, I would say more the intellectual Thomists on this app came in here. He didn't have an argument against what I was saying. He definitely could not prove that what I was saying was false. So he just ran. I have like a scholastic, like a whole table of scholastics on standby. Please say that that's what the scholastics teach. Peter E. Lombard, like I said, Edith Stein, Thomas Maria Siglaria, Reginald Frédéric Lagrange. Please say that that's what they taught. They definitely didn't teach that. He says, state the argument. I'm curious. Yeah. So again, the only thing I need for my critique of Thomism to be the case is that the persons are materially identical to one res or one esse simplicator. God is pure esse. The persons are virtually distinct from the essence, which means that there's some foundation in reality, but it's still based on the different ways of conceptualizing or cognizing the same thing, right? Like, for example, and I want to explain that, just not say that. Like, when you consider the nature of man as rational and animal, right? Those are virtual distinctions because we can view it from different perspectives, like animality and rationality, even though they're unified in one nature, right? So that virtual distinction from the essence, material identity to the one res, and also the theory of signs and analogy. That's all I need. Because according to Aquinas, every analogical name has some intrinsic element of dissimilitude. And if the son or the word is an analogical predicate, that means there is, by definition, something in the referent that's dissimilar to what the name captures. And that means that the analogical name can exhaust the person's intelligibility. And so that means for that analogy to work, that there has to be a foundation of similarity and dissimilarity between the analogates. If that foundation doesn't have extramental reality, then it's not real. If it has extramental reality, then it's real. If it doesn't have extramental reality, then it's conceptual. Because that's actually what formal distinctions are. They're like right between real and logical. So if it doesn't have extramental reality, it's not real. If it does have extramental reality, then it's real. But it doesn't. There's no independent onto ground for analogical predicates because analogical predicates are not within a genus to ground real definition. Joshi knows that. That's why he ran. This is exactly why he ran. I'm not just making things up or trying to just talk about talk about Aquinas and the things I don't know. No, And I can't believe that he said the formal concept of son and formal concept of father are just formally repugnant. Show me that in the literature. He just made that crap up. Bro makes stuff up. He literally makes things up. Show me in the literature that the formal concept of son and formal concept of father are formally repugnant. Dude lied. He literally lied on his own saint, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy word. He lied on his own saints. Oh my gosh, bro. He said they're formally repugnant. Show me that in Aquinas, please and thank you. Show me where those analogical predicates are formally repugnant. Can't believe he said that. What the heck, dude? Oh my gosh. Anyway. And that's just the philosophy of it. Not even talking about the history of Thomism, right? He definitely can't show me where that's taught in the early church. That's why it didn't come up here. Bro would have got cooked with philosophy and theology, bro. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Oh man, that's absolutely hilarious. Whew. Dude said that father and son are formally repugnant. Wow. Just lying on Aquinas. He claims a real distinction between the persons. Doesn't mean that there are real distinctions between persons. Just like you can have like what's his name? Nestorius, right? That claims real distinction. I'm sorry, that claims that there's one Christ. Doesn't mean that there's one Christ, right? Or maybe Nestorius is wrong, right? Oh, okay. Oh man, that's pretty funny. He claims it, therefore it's the case. Mm-hmm. That's funny. But let's see. He said, didn't Jesus call Thomas a slave? Bro, the fact that you believe that the person on the screen is Thomas from the Bible is crazy. No, my friend. No, we're not talking about Thomas from the Bible. We're talking about Thomas Aquinas. Talking about Thomas Aquinas, dude. We are definitely not talking about Thomas from the Bible, dude. Oh my gosh. Bro. But this is what Aquinas does say on negation. He says, I answer that true and false are opposed as contraries, and not as some have said as affirmations and negations, in proof of which must be considered that negation neither asserts anything nor determines any subject, and can therefore be said of being as not as of nothing, for instance, not seeing and not sitting. The privation asserts that the subject, as stated in Metaphysics, Book 4, are for blindness is not said except for those whose nature is to see. Contraries, however, both assert something and determine the subject, right? So when you say the Father is not the Son, guess what? That's a negation of the predicate. When you say the Son is not the Father, guess what? That's a negation of the predicate. Formal negation of the concept of said predicate. Analogical predicates, that is. And so he just tried to, oh my gosh, just gloss over the fact that those are analogical predicates, which is just really weird. He says, why are you feigning confidence with obnoxious fake laughter? It makes it hard to take you serious. You can come up and defend your saint. Or shut up. I can care less. Fake laughter. No, I was dead serious when I was laughing. I thought that was hilarious. That's why he didn't come up. But no, I was dead serious. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Josh said that. That's really weird. Oh, here we go. Because look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He says it imports repugnance. Joshy, my favorite liar, right, says that it imports repugnance. No, it imports negation. Oh no, he lied. He lied. He says unbegotten imports the negation. Oh no, not the repugnance. He lied. I used to be a Thomist, dude. And for him to say that the unbegotten imports a repugnance of the predicate, it's just a liar. No, it doesn't. It's not what Aquinas says. That's why he didn't come up. He would have got cooked. I have receipts for everything I'm saying. Can't believe that dude lied. He said unbegotten imports repugnance of the predicate. Huh? What? Unbegotten imports repugnance of the passive generation. According to who? Who says that? Who says that? No, it's not. No, it's not. Doesn't import repugnance. Imports the negation of passive generation. He just lied, and he literally lied on his own saint. That's crazy work. I didn't notice. I didn't lie on Aquinas. Yeah, 15 people, 0 guess. Yeah, you guys keep sharing the live. Maybe we'll get a Thomist that wants to defend Aquinas. Yeah, bruh. I can't believe he said that the negation, the unbegotten, imports a repugnance of the passive generation. Wow, what a liar! That's crazy. He literally says that they import the negation. Let me show you that again. Let me show you that again. Again, Joshi said that unbegotten imports repugnance of the passive generation. That's not what he says. It imports the negation of passive generation. For he says that unbegotten, which is unbegottenness, just is the Son, because everything is virtual in God. The notion of unbegottenness is not proper notion of the Father, and the primary simple things are notified by negations. As for instance, a point is defined as what has no part. I'm not making this up. That's what their saint says. That's what their saint says. It's crazy. Bro lied on his own saint. That's crazy work, bro. Bro lied on his own saint. I'm crying. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm crying. He lied on his own saint. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That was pretty funny. It's article 4 of the Summa Theologiae Prima Pars, question 33. It's whether it is proper to the Father to be unbegotten. That's where it talks about formal negation of the concepts. Yeah. Can't believe Joshi said the formal concept of Father and the formal concept of Son only formally are formally repugnant. No, they formally import negation. Wow. Man. Bro lied on his own saying. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's great. And then I said, according to Francisco Suarez, does negation formally constitute real things? He said, well, according to Suarez, no. Okay, show me that according to, because then he tried to draw this weird line of demarcation between Suarez and Aquinas. Okay, show me Aquinas saying that. You're wasting my time. You're just a waste of my time. Like you can't. So okay. So in other words, you can't show me. I'm just a waste of your time. Okay. All right. So you could show me. Wait. So you could show me, and I'm a waste of your time, or you couldn't show me, and I'm a waste of your time. I'm so confused. What's up, Joey?
Nothing, bro. Just got up on here. Just interested in all that. Cause I knew Tertullian was an economic Trinitarian. I studied about him.
Yeah,
He,
he's the economic Trinitarian. Hippolytus, like if you read Hippolytus in his Contra Noetum, he actually quite literally says the Son is not a son. The sonship of the Son is not perfected into the moment of incarnation. And there's multiple scholars that agree. Like, you don't have to let Trinitarians, ooze or sway you into believing that Hippolytus was anything more than an economical Trinitarian. There's so many books. Like, you can go to like Christ and Christian Tradition by Professor Alois Grillmeyer, who is a very reputable scholar. Quite literally says that, and then quotes Contra Noetum that sonship doesn't begin until the incarnation. That essentially the Word is eternal, the person of the Son is
yeah,
eternal, as such or as Word. But Hippolytus of Rome doesn't believe in the eternal sonship aspect. He believes the person is eternal, just not sonship as such. And also, the
yeah,
Word in his eternal being is not like a distinct person from the Father. It's just the mode of God's intelligibility. That's all the Word is in Hippolytus. Same
yeah,
with Theodotus. Same with Athenagoras in his plea against the Christians. He says the same thing. Like, none of these people believe in classical Trinitarianism, and that's why like most of these Trinitarians only want to debate people that are like ill studied in early church literature. Um, where their arguments are just gonna be basic and fundamental.
yeah.
He
I
says,
like.
"What's the source?" Oh, one second, one second. I apologize. I just want to answer that this guy's question. He says, "What's the source that Hippolytus was not didn't believe in eternal sonship?" Yeah, Alois Grillmeyer in Christ and Christian Tradition, Volume One, from the Apostolic Age to the time of Chalcedon. Namely, let's see, his section on Hippolytus. I pull it up real quick for you. Here we go.
Was it just a quick question? Was it against Praxius 9 that says temporary modes of existence or something?
You said what?
Isn't against Praxius 9 that says temporary modes of operation of the Father? Tertullian
I'm
said.
I'm not sure, but right here, right here. I want to show you this. Now, the incarnation is understood as the unity of procession of the logos from the mouth and heart or loins of the Father, and from David. It is not. Let's see. It is not. There we go. Matter of the logos coming into the world, but of a procession in respect to the world. So Hippolytus can say from him and from the heart of the Father, the Son, i.e., the incarnate logos, came from forth by birth and in connection with from the Virgin, as Ignatius of Antioch had already written in his epistle to the Ephesians 7:2, which means that, by the way, Ignatius doesn't believe in eternal sonship. He expressly emphasizes that Genesis sees this twofold birth in a unity, showing that both in one, as though showing one that we may know spiritually of Him, both spiritually and physically. The Logos is begotten of the Father, as it were, in corporeality, which the Virgin supplies, and by this He is first fully revealed as Son. That's not eternal sonship. Then you go on and this part right here in Alois Grillmeyer, he states, and I quote, "And he has taken humanity the new name of love by calling himself a son. For neither was the Logos before the incarnation, and when by himself yet perfect son. Although he was perfect Logos, only begotten, nor could the flesh exist apart from the Logos, as it had its existence in the Logos, thus then was manifested one single perfect Son of God." And then it says, even assuming the antinoetis is regarded as a retractio, one should make the mistake. No one should make the mistake that the Hippolytean coloring of the passage. In respect, it is especially important to pay attention to the idea that sonship of Christ is to be associated with incarnation. Verbatim what he says. And he's not alone, by the way. There's like a plethora of scholars like J&D Kelly, Alice, J&D Kelly, Bethune Baker, Adolf von Harnack, etc., that say the same thing. Geo Prestige, Louis Ayres, Henry Chadwick, like just a long list of church historians that say the exact same thing about Christ. And so, no, Hippolytus was not a classical Trinitarian. No, Gregory Thematichus was not a classical Trinitarian. No, Athenagoras of Athens was not a classical Trinitarian. No, none of these people were classical Trinitarians.
Yeah, they don't. To be honest, classical Trinitarian is what